Welcome to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where, as you can see, the final preparations are underway for Saturday night, Tyson Fury versus Dereck Chisora. We have obviously seen Premier League football in this stadium. We've seen NFL in this stadium. Well, on Saturday, it is World Heavyweight Championship boxing, and the press conference begins now. Yes, here we are ahead of the final press conference before Tyson Fury versus Dereck Chisora. And as you can see, once again, I am joined by the former two-weight world champion and future roll neck world champion, Carl Frampton. How are we doing? Looking fantastic.
Yeah, do you know what? I stuck something else. So I tried this and I tried something else because I'm a bit chinny these days, you know what I mean? Another year, I don't think I'll be able to wear a roll neck again. So yeah,
some of us can't even attempt it to start with, so you're all right. Here we are. The build-up, the final stages of fight week for this fight. Controversial, maybe, when it got announced. Sort of interest has grown over time. How are you feeling about this one now?
I was like, I suppose, everybody at the start when it was announced. I was a little bit disappointed because we were talking about AJ, we were talking about Usyk, and them fights, they couldn't be made, and that's understandable. But I think that in hindsight, when you think back about it, it kind of Dereck's the best of a selection. A lot of the top 10 weren't available, and we all know what Dereck Chisora brings to the table. He try and fight, and I think that's good, Mike Goodall. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, that's not just voices in your head. That is Mike Goodall counting away.
I think it's a better fight than people will think it'll be. I think it'll be better than the previous two fights that they've had. I think it'll be exciting while it lasts, but in saying that, I still think that Fury knows enough to get rid of Dereck in the middle round somewhere.
So we've got the fight announced recently on the undercard, Ivan Mendy against Denis Berinchyk, which of course has brought Alex Krassyuk, Usyk's promoter, director of K2 Promotions, over to the UK. He's walking around somewhere. We might be able to grab him in a moment. But the fact there is this kind of like Ukrainian presence at the card, we're hearing that Usyk is hopefully going to be at ringside on the night. It all feels like it's building up to that mega fight.
We know what the next play is going to be or what they're going to try and make. You've got a Ukrainian as one of the kind of fighters high up the bill in a European title fight in Berinchyk, and that's what we want to see, isn't it? If it's not Usyk, it's got to be AJ or someone like that. But one of the two, if it's not either of them two next for Fury, I think then we can start to criticise things a little bit. It has to be one of the top guys, but I think then Usyk's the one we want to see, isn't it? And to see who is the top guy. I think I know who the top guy is, but we all have to find out.
A quick word on that Mendy-Berinchyk fight. Berinchyk, if you haven't seen his entrances, look him up on YouTube. He's an entertainer. He's a showman. Ivan Mendy, a man you know very well.
Yeah, I love Ivan Mendy. I brought him over for a training camp to London when I was based there at the start of my career, just before he beat Luke Campbell. I remember telling everybody at the time, these kids, don't mess about with him. He's tough as nails, really takes a good shot, but strong, very well schooled. Typical kind of you look at the French amateur system and how he fights. Hands nice and high, and really good fighter. He's had 55 fights, which you don't see too often these days. He's been European champion a number of different times. Berinchyk is really exciting as well. Someone who I like to fight, or I like to watch fighting. I think it's a good fight and a difficult one to call. And guys, I think these two guys will have a go. They'll have a fight. I think if you're going to watch the fight, make sure you tune in. A lot of people watch the main fights, don't they, and forget about the undercard. But this one potentially could steal the show.
Yeah, especially we've been out there. We've taken a few steps outside onto the pitch, and it is pretty cold. So the crowd are going to need warming up on Saturday night, and I think Berinchyk and Mendy may be the men to do it. Speaking of people who've had a lot of fights, and Dereck Chisora is up there with one of the most experienced men in the division, and we've mentioned the sort of Ukrainian presence here this week. Do you think that's going to get on his nerves at all? The fact that a lot of the narrative has become about Fury Usyk, or does it work into his hands?
He knows the game. Dereck knows the game, and he knows that people aren't expecting him to win. But I suppose that takes a bit of pressure off his shoulders. I suppose this fight was mocked a little bit when it was first made, and I think unfairly so. Dereck is as brave as they come, and We know he's determined to win a fight. It's always strange watching Dereck. You think that he's blowing after 3 rounds, and he just continues to throw shots until he doesn't have to anymore. And I think we'll see that again. I think we'll see a determined Dereck Chisora. I think Tyson will stand and have a fight with him, like he said, and that's why I think it's going to be an exciting fight that people should tune into.
Yeah, they did say that the other day at the media workout. They sort of had a confrontation on the Queensbury YouTube stream, saying that they were going to meet each other in the ring and stand and bang. Do you believe them, or do you think?
No.
Because I think it's 8 years almost to the day. I think it was 8 years to the day 2 days ago that they had their second fight.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was just like the sort of clinical Fury classic. But he's a different fighter.
Yeah, I don't think he can fight like he used to. I think that obviously he's older now. He's not as agile on his feet, and we've seen the performances from Deontay Wilder and how he fought Dillian Whyte as well. He wasn't up on his toes that much, and I think it's partly because he maybe can't do that anymore. It's got to be hard for a big man of his size and weight to be able to do that for so long. So I believe him. I think that's what he's going to do. I thought he was bluffing when he said it for the second fight against Deontay Wilder. That when he said that, he made that statement, "I'm going to stand in the middle of the ring and I'm going to fight you." I thought it was a bluff, but that's exactly what he done. There's no reason not to believe him here, and I think that's what he'll do, and that is genuinely why, although this fight has taken criticism and stick, that's why I think it's going to be better than a lot of people expected.
I believe we have Alex Krasik coming in now. Let's get him in the middle of us two, if you're okay to share a microphone with him. Welcome back to London, and a stadium with very good memories for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Not just the stadium, but the hotel I'm living in is also with good memories. It was like a deja vu. I'm living on the same floor. I'm like watching the same view from my window and recalling those times when we were here in Tottenham fighting for the first time with Anthony Joshua. That was a positive vibe, a very positive experience and recall from the memory.
And so, obviously, we've got Denis Baranchyk fighting. Myself and Carl were just talking about that. It's going to be a very exciting fight to sort of warm up the crowd on a cold December evening. According
to my humble point of view, I would say this is the most intriguing fight of the fight night. Two men with huge experience behind, with some big character, big heart, different styles. The one knows how to fight, the other knows how to take the punch. So this is going to be a mix of styles, and I really feel this is going to be a hit battle on Tottenham.
I completely agree, and I've just said the same literally 5 minutes ago. I think that Yvonne Mendy knows how to fight, Baranchyk knows how to fight, and although they're two foreign fighters, if you're a boxing fan, you should watch this fight. I think the potential, there's going to be fireworks.
That's 100% true, and Baranchyk is famous for his ring walks. He's not the main event now, so not that much attention going to be paid to his ring walk, but he still prepared some entertainment for this. He's been in the past. He's been like a Hulk. He was riding a horse to the ring. He was riding the motorcycle to the ring. The paramedics were carrying him like a broken. He's very amusing, and he invents it himself, and then he asks people to implement that. So he is a character, a very charismatic character, and this man knows how to fight. So beside the entertainment, when he comes to the ring, he's very entertaining inside the ring, because he's the part of that Olympic team, of the dream team from Ukraine in 2012 when he got. Unfortunately, he ended up with a silver medal, but that was because his body was almost injured. Every bone was injured, so he couldn't stand it. And then he lost in the final. But he also has that pleasant memory of London, becoming the silver medalist and making his professional career in line with Usyk, who's his big fan and big friend, with Lomachenko, with Gvozdyk, and with Taras Shelistuk of that team.
Speaking of the man himself, Alexander Usyk, we believe he's flying in for this flight. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. He will be in the ringside.
And you obviously know both of these men very well. Fury, I know you've exchanged messages with a few times. Chisora, from Usyk's fight. This fight first, how do you see this one going?
Well, many people think that it's a one-sided fight, but you shouldn't underestimate Chisora. This man knows how to fight. This is number one. He has big heart. He's not afraid. He's not scared, and he used to prepare some tricky things. I remember him fighting Usyk, and he made that strange switch from orthodox to southpaw with a double, triple jab with a different hand. That's something that he's inventing. So, technical-wise, he might be losing to Tyson Fury, but he still have a punch. He is strong. He's like a rhinoceros, and he can break your rib. He can break your nose, your ear, or whatever. He can hurt you. He can severely hurt you.
Do you think this fight it's taken unfair criticism? I think it's a better fight than people have initially think.
I agree. I think the biggest criticism is because it's not because of Chisora, but because of Tyson Fury's choice.
Yeah.
That he's trying to avoid big, serious opponents and trying to hide, like to keep his belt, exercising his contract for fighting men like Chisora. But Chisora is probably the best option out of options that we heard before.
I agree. Yeah.
You remember we heard some other people from heavyweight which wouldn't sell even a ticket to. Maybe Tyson himself would distribute them. My anticipation is that Tyson is not that confident in himself. Maybe he's living a different life outside the ring. You never know. If he's not a disciplined person. You can explain whatever you wish, but if you feel it here in your heart that you are betraying yourself like an athlete, if you're doing some bad things that are not good for sports, no one else knows, but you know, and you'll feel you won't feel really confident in what you're doing. But with all, I mean, everything I say about Tyson Fury, I respect this man. I respect him as a character, I respect him as a fighter, I respect him as a big champion, and I respect him as a brave man. So I don't want to see Tyson Fury avoiding the undisputed fight with Usyk. So if he's brave enough, he has to give his consent, because the only thing that's pending for the big match is Tyson Fury's yes to fight Usyk.
Do you think he is brave enough, or do you think he's trying a way to avoid this fight?
You know, I don't think he's a coward. He's not. We saw so many fights, let's say with Wilder. He didn't behave like he was afraid. But sometimes it's unpleasant, you know, when you are in a comfort, when you earn money and you have this belt and everyone greets you like a champion, treats you like a big man, like a big star. And you don't want to risk what you have. And fighting Usyk is a big risk for him.
Yeah.
So he can lose everything in one night, like Vladimir Klitschko did fighting Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
No one expected him to win, and suddenly in a while he loses the match, and everything goes with Tyson. And he cannot stand it, and he goes out like whopping out his belts and doing some bad things in his life. That's why I think he might not be confident in what he's doing, but he has to accept it. He has to take the challenge. If he is a real man, he's working. He's fighting not just for himself, for his family. He's fighting for the fans. He's fighting for the heritage, for legacy, for glory. So he has to comply with these requirements. He has to satisfy the fans, and fans want to watch the big fight, the undisputed fight. That's what he has to do. So there's no excuse. There's no way he can justify himself for not doing this. Like saying he's a middleweight, it's not a proper excuse. It's a lame excuse.
Obviously, Usyk versus Fury is plan A. Undisputed, it's the fight that everyone wants to see. Is Alexander Usyk thinking of any other fight, or is this the only one he can think of? Is there a plan B?
Well, there is a plan B, but plan B is in place when plan A is not. So
1, 2, 3, 4.
When you are a unified champion, you have to comply with the mandatories. And if the big fight is not on, most likely Usyk would have to go with a mandatory. And we know that Daniel Dubois is first in line, then Filip Hrgovic, and then Joe Joyce is WBO mandatory interim champion. So he is all for the undisputed. He is all for the big fight. He wants this big challenge because he used to challenge himself throughout all his life. So he's ready, he's willing, he never stepped away. No matter what you hear from Tyson, he's not aware of what he's saying because he's been retiring 6 times within the last couple months. He's coming back 6 days. He's been changing his opponents like 4 or 5 times, fighting this, that, and then suddenly retiring again. He's an entertaining personality, so he's entertaining people, entertaining fans. He's doing very good. You don't need to promote his fights. He's doing it for himself, which is very pleasant to have that kind of personality on a contract as a heavyweight. That's it.
If the fight can be made, do you have a preference of where it happens? UK or Middle East, or where do you prefer?
Well, our plan A, our priority is to stage this fight in the Middle East because our partners, they are willing to do so. So as I mentioned before, we have everything on board. Queensbury is in. K2 is in. Usyk team is in. Usyk himself is in. Our partners from Middle East are in, ready, willing to stage this fight in February, March. So the only one thing is pending is the consent of a tall gypsy man.
Yeah.
So that's only one element, and we have the fight done.
I have a request. I have a baby due in February, so can we leave it to March, please, so I can see the fight?
Okay, so we have a slot. Let me tell you, maybe you would be lucky. So we have a time frame between February 18th and March the 4th. We have 3 Saturdays, and each Saturday works well for us. So depending on how good Tyson gonna come out of the ring, not injured, declare the winner or whatever, and finally being brave enough to agree for a big fight with a middleweight rabbit from Ukraine, then we have a big fight.
All right then, Carl, you've got to get that baby out. You've got to say, Christine, it needs to be before February 18th.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's early February, so the later you can leave it, then...
Yeah, okay, no, we have a deal.
Thank you.
Alex, I think you're going to enjoy this. We've had a YouTube comment in from Callum saying, didn't Usyk duck this fight in December? Your thoughts on that?
There's no conspiracy behind it. Let me tell you. So we had the initial agreement to have 2 big fights within 2022. The first fight with Anthony Joshua, the second fight for the undisputed. Whoever wins, AJ or Usyk, they fight in December. The first fight had to take place on July 21st, the second some late December. Unfortunately, the fight was shifted from July to August. So Usyk needed 1 month gap for the rehabilitation, for recovering from the fight. So we shifted the date of the next fight for 1 month, which is January. And January is not an appropriate month to stage a fight like that. That's why it was moved to February. So no conspiracy, nothing behind it. It's just a matter of common reason. The man has to come back of his fight. He has to spend time with his family, and he's working hard now. He's back in Ukraine. His foundation is helping people in need. They are constructing houses for people who lost shelter. They are sending vehicles to militaries. So on Monday he had a meeting with President Zelensky. He is one of the ambassadors for the United 24 platform, and he's doing big things in Ukraine to help Ukrainians get victory in this war and help Ukrainian people who are in need. So that's why he's not like ducking, or he's not doing bad things. He's staying in a proper line, and he's waiting for one man to agree for the fight, for legacy, for glory, for the heritage. First time in history, 4 belts era, the undisputed heavyweight champion. Come on. You cannot find the proper reason not to take it.
Do you think his legacy goes beyond boxing? We know what's going on in Ukraine at the minute. Alexander Usyk is much more than a boxer, isn't he?
Absolutely. He's a hero. People admire what he's doing. People get the inspiration. When he was in Ukraine, he was part of a local military joined for defending the territory that he was residing in. So and then we received an offer to go ahead and fight for the rematch. So he spoke to militaries, he spoke to high-ranked military officers, to soldiers, to wounded soldiers in the hospitals, and all he received were the words of support and blessing to go ahead and to fight, because ring is his front. That is the place where he can use as a platform to say what's going on in Ukraine. Like 100 millions of people gonna be watching, 100 millions of people gonna draw their attention to what's going on in Ukraine. That's why he took this decision, but because he was really hesitating. He was feeling like he needs to stay and fight in Ukraine. But that's his ring, that's his front. I mean, he's a big star. He's the big inspiration for soldiers, for militaries, for common people to stay strong, to fight, and to go for the victory.
When he's sat there at ringside tomorrow night, is he there because he wants to give Tyson a constant reminder throughout that fight? Listen, there's this big fight in February or March that we want. Is he there as a reminder? Is he trying to send a message?
He's trying, like he will be there for, first of all, to support Berinchik, who is his big friend. Second, you cannot miss that big fight. Of course you cannot. Tyson Fury promised to slap, and we all want to see how would be able to do that. Like, if that would be so easy to slap Usyk, he wouldn't be a unified champion of the world in heavyweight. With just one movement, you cannot do that. So most likely he will miss. And maybe Usyk one moment, if Tyson is declared the winner, he will come up to the ring center and look into his eyes. Maybe if the guy is not scared, if the guy agrees, and maybe at that time, at that point, he gives his consent, saying, yes, small rabbit, heavyweight, oh, middleweight, I'm gonna fight you, you're so small, I'm not scared. That's what we want to hear from him. Being brave to take this decision.
I don't want to speak for Tyson Fury, but I think that he says these things, but he's got to respect Usyk. I'm sure that he respects Usyk. Do you believe so?
I'm really convinced he does. I know that Tyson, beside his being like an amusing personality on camera, off camera he's a different man.
Yeah.
And he's a man of word. He's a man of he has big heart. He's a real man, real warrior, and that's why we make it for entertainment. But deep in his heart, he knows that this fight is something special that cannot be missed.
Does Usyk enjoy mind games? Because we've seen him turn up in mad outfits, have fun face-offs, things like that. Tyson Fury, similar, does insane things before fights. The two of them are likely going to engage in some kind of mental warfare. Does Usyk thrive off that?
Definitely yes, but the good thing about Usyk is that he's not a big English speaker, though he speaks already English, but he wouldn't really understand Tyson's language. That's point number one. So it would be complicated for Tyson to get into his mind.
His character translates and it crosses over. People like Usyk, although he doesn't speak very, very much English. He's a character, and people like that, and that's why he's got a huge fan base globally.
Absolutely. So, but Usyk is like he's a real man. He went through some huge challenges in his life, so he's not scared. And I hardly believe there is anything Usyk can be scared of, including Tyson Fury. So same probably about Tyson.
I saw him in New York when I was in the same hotel when AJ fought Usyk, or when AJ fought Andy Ruiz, and Usyk was there, and we were at the bottom of the lift, and he was dancing with his girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure who it was, and he's really annoying her. He was annoying, laughing at that, thinking this guy is a bit mad.
Yeah, he is, and he admits it himself. He says, I'm crazy. I am crazy, and no problem about it, but I'm kind. I'm a white rabbit. That's what he mentioned to Tony Bell, you remember?
And I think that was the night with the famous photo of AJ stood in the ring with Usyk looking on, was it not?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And so that kind of presence, I suppose we can expect something similar tomorrow night.
Hopefully, I do so.
All right then, Alex, we'll let you go. I know you're a very popular man in this room. I know there's a lot of people that want to talk to you, and the press conference is about to start. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was good.
What a guy.
Yeah,
what a
lovely
talker.
guy. Yeah, great talker.
Is that the first time you've met him?
First time I've met him. I've seen him around in different places, but that's the first time I've met him. First time I've spoken to him, and yeah, lovely guy. And clearly someone who loves his fighters. You hear how he talks about Usyk and Baranchyk and the other guys. Yeah, it was nice.
It's very clear that team really wants the big fight to happen. That they are all on board and putting the pressure very much on Tyson's camp.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. They want this fight. And I think that the wider public want the fight. We all want it, and hopefully it can be made next.
Let's just bring in Ben Davison here. I've seen him hanging in the background. How are we doing? Nice hair.
Trying well, your hairline's going, but need a trip to the British Hair Clinic.
Not going to Turkey, no.
Could do. If you've got any recommendations, let me know.
Ben, obviously the trainer of Royce and Barney Smith, who's going to be on the undercard, appears to have somehow got into his contract only big stadium fights.
Yeah, it was part of the negotiation. No, Frank's doing a fantastic job with him and getting these massive opportunities. Even on the York Hall show the other day, he was given, it was like a 9:30, 10 o'clock prime time slot, and he delivered the goods. So, Frank's doing a fantastic job with him.
So Fury Chisora, the main event, obviously on the night. You know Fury very well from your assignment as his trainer. How are you feeling that he's kind of coping with what has been quite a bit of criticism going into this fight, maybe?
It's hard to say, really. I think that, me personally, I think it was the way that it was sold. It was almost like, we're going to get Joshua, we're going to get Usyk. Oh, no, instead we're going to get Chisora. The reality of it is, it's probably a case of Usyk's not available till February, March, so we're going to box Chisora in the meantime. I think if it was
absolutely
sold like that, people would have gone, not a problem. It's
completely
a sensible tick over.
Yeah.
But Chisora instead of Joshua and Usyk is a bit of a kick in the teeth.
Yeah. How do you think Chisora's going to cope with all the talk about Usyk? Obviously, Usyk's going to be at ringside as well. We've got Alex Krasik here today. How do you think Chisora's feeling around the fact that there's this second narrative around his fight? It's not just about him.
He'll thrive off it. He won't mind. He'll think that Tyson's hoping that Tyson's got one eye on an Usyk fight. And look, anything can happen at any level in boxing. Never mind the heavyweight division. So Tyson needs to be fully focused.
Yeah. Do you think Tyson's the man, though, that he has to deal with so much all the time, so much media attention, particularly since his comeback, as you'll know full well, the difference between his life going into fights when it was the Seferi fight to the Vegas fight, which obviously you oversaw the first couple of them, and the LA fight, and now it's just something completely different. He's got singles, he's got books, he's got Netflix documentaries and all sorts. Do you think he's good at separating everything?
For me, this is where a big part of it happens, and a tendency that I tend to see with fighters that get to a certain level, then they get even further on, is their mind gets taken away from boxing, whether it's things like that or whether it's business, and I'm a businessman now. Nothing will ever pay you like investing in yourself and your boxing. Just stick to that and fulfill your potential, because what you work from that age for, that eventually I'll get there, and you know what it is, I'm going to put 25% of myself onto being a businessman or doing music or doing this or doing that. Like, for me, I'm a big advocate, 100% on your boxing until it's done.
Just quickly, Ben, does he need the fight? He's talked about he needs the fight, and he's talked about he loses undefeated record at some point because he's just going to continue to fight when he's past his best. Does he have to be in the gym all the time?
I don't know. I mean, you've retired. You'll know more than me. Like, with my job, fortunately, I can just keep going and continue. But when you're a fighter and that's what you've done, you haven't really got something, I'm gonna do this after. I think the most important thing is routine and structure, and that's what I always said to him making the comeback. You need a routine for your day, and you need some structure for your day. Like, I'm gonna do this, do that. Keep yourself busy, and I think that's the number one thing for your mental health. But I don't know. I mean, how are you finding retirement?
I'm okay. I think I'm a lucky one. I'm a different character than most. That I was literally, I don't mind sitting on my ass on the sofa watching TV, literally. And I've walked in this job with BT, so that's given me something to do.
I've heard you say before as well that you didn't love boxing.
At the end, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
And I was hurting a little bit, a few injuries, and it was a bit of felt like a chore at times. I haven't done a single session in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you my belly later on.
As long as I ain't got to show you mine. No, I think everybody's different, and it is a worry. Of course, it's a worry. It's a worry for every boxer, I think. But he's got great people around him, great family, and hopefully he can find something. Because eventually, you can't continue to fight your whole life. So I think hopefully eventually he finds the route that he's after.
All right then, Ben, I think this press conference is about to get underway, but thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you very much. Right then, I believe we are just about ready for Paul Dempsey to start the final press conference. So we'll throw you over now.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to everybody from here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London, a magnificent setting, live all around the world at this moment as we come close to the big event here, December the 3rd. It is in association between Queensberry Promotions and Top Rank, live on BT Sport Box Office and in the USA on ESPN+. And of course, it features the one and only Tyson Fury back in action, back in the United Kingdom, and back in an all-British World Heavyweight title, defending his WBC title once more. And in addition, rising British heavyweight star Daniel Dubois, WBA World Heavyweight title against Kevin Lerena of South Africa. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us so promptly, and we'll get the show underway. We'll speak to the fighters in our two principal events in a little while, but to get us started, I think we should start with the gentlemen who've put this monster show together in quite testing circumstances, as so often. The all-time great Bob Arum has joined us from the United States on behalf of Top Rank. We'll speak to Bob in a moment, but first, as our host, George Warren, CEO of Queensberry Promotions. Welcome to you, George. Thank you for giving us this unique sporting venue. It is truly wonderful, although not easy for everybody with loyalties in this part of North London in football terms to come here. You've overcome that barrier. Well done for doing that. Yeah. Tell us how the show has come together.
Well, firstly, I want to just thank Tottenham Hotspur for being fabulous hosts, and it does pain me to say that slightly as an Arsenal fan, but this is one incredible setting for what I think is going to be one incredible night of boxing. It has come together because Tyson Fury needs to fight. Tyson Fury is the heavyweight champion of the world, the #1 heavyweight on the planet. He wants something to focus on, something to concentrate on, and boxing is all that he wants to do, which is why we're here. We're going to be here with 60,000 UK fans tuning in to see if Dereck can upset that apple cart on big, big plans that we in Top Rank have, and obviously Tyson has for next year. And I'm just excited. I'm just excited to see what's going to go down. I know Dereck's going to come out and give it all that he can. We're obviously backing our guy to do the business, and I just think people are going to see something really, really special.
George, is it true that you were taken by surprise by the rapid rate of ticket sales?
I think we always knew the demand to see Tyson Fury. And I think what needs to be appreciated is for so long we weren't able to see him fight in the UK. He was fighting in America, developing his brand out there. A tremendous job that Bob and the team at Top Rank that have done with that fabulous platform at ESPN out there to build him, to raise his profile, make him a world-level renowned fighter and athlete. But bringing him back for that homecoming at Wembley Stadium, seeing the demand, seeing those tickets go, I think we did 80,000 tickets in the first 4 hours on that day, 94,000 there. We were just setting up doing the round table, and I told some of the press at that. We have done now with Tyson across these two events 154,000 tickets, and we're only at 60,000 on Saturday night because of licensing restrictions. I think if we'd got past that, we would have even more in here. But 154,000 tickets in two stadium events on the spin, that's the demand to see this guy. And people should enjoy it while he's here, because he won't be here forever. I know he says he will. I know he says he wants 15 fights next year, or 15 round fights. He's a character beyond anyone else that works in this sport that we work with. He's a fabulous guy to work with. Enjoy him while he's here. Tune in, see a great night of boxing.
In his own way, of course, he has defied logic in and out of the ring over the last decade or so, Tyson Fury. Dereck Chisora, for his part, has defied logic time and time again, and here he is on this major fight night in London. He'll have a lot of support here, we know that also. And they kind of are the spearhead of this golden age for the British heavyweight. Also featuring on this card, Daniel Dubois. Now, if Daniel comes through his test against Kevin Lerena, what is in your mind for him?
Well, before I answer that, I think it's worthwhile saying Dereck is an absolute warrior. You know, we know Dereck at Queensberry very well. We've worked with Dereck for a number of years. He's obviously gone off and worked with other promoters since then. He is a live underdog in this fight. Do not underestimate that he is coming to upset this apple cart and to spoil plans. The plan for Daniel, really, it comes down, funnily, to what happens on Saturday night, and we all hope that Tyson comes through that from a Queensberry and top-ranked perspective. And if he does, we are then fully focused, all eyes on making the undisputed heavyweight championship against Usyk. That is the priority. It's the thing that needs to happen in boxing, not just heavyweight boxing, but in world boxing. And that being made will give Daniel, if he comes through, a very difficult fight against a very good fighter in Kevin Lorena. But if he comes through that, Daniel's got to look to defend that title and retain that position. But if we aren't able to deliver Usyk, and by the way, I think we will get it done. I see no reason why we won't. But if we don't, Daniel is next in line. He is the mandatory to fight Usyk so long as he comes through Saturday. So there's a lot riding on this, not just for Tyson, not just for, you know, the guys that are fighting these guys, but the guys that we look after. They've all got to focus on the job at hand, make sure that they're completely ready to give it all and make sure they come through this.
Thank you for that explainer, George. And again, thanks on behalf of all of us for giving us this fight night. If there could be a rival attraction to a World Cup, this is it. And you even managed to get England playing on the Sunday, which is also very helpful.
It's worked out well.
So, Mr. Aaron, to you. George has mentioned the potential route ahead for Tyson Fury. As you well know better than me, Bob, as a scholar of this business, things can go wrong. But if Tyson Fury does come through, will you be able to put the Usyk fight together in the early part of 23?
Yeah, like George said, I don't see any reason why the Usyk fight with Tyson Fury can't be made speedily without much trouble. I know the Usyk people very well. His manager, Igis Klimas, is a really good friend of mine. He manages Lomachenko and Janibek, the middleweight champion. And I've dealt with him a whole lot over the years. I know Alexander Usyk. I know he wants the fight. I talked with Tyson a little while ago, and he wants the fight. That fight will happen next unless Mr. Chisora lands his punch. Now, don't discount Chisora. Chisora is a hell of a fighter. He has a tremendous punch. And I remember, what was it, a couple of years ago, a year ago, when he fought Usyk. And he gave Usyk life or death. I mean, that fight could have gone either way.
Yeah.
So you can't, in this business, count your chickens before they're hatched.
And what would be your last word on Saturday to Tyson Fury before he goes into the ring on that theme?
Beat Tyson Fury and fight Chisora the same way you fought Deontay Wilder the last two times. Those were two of the most memorable heavyweight fights, and I've seen so many of them that I've ever seen. Really exciting, guys not playing around. They go out, they try to beat the hell out of their opponent, and that's what Tyson Fury will do, will try to do, and Chisora will answer back. I mean, it's a great, great fight. It really has a lot of interest for fight fans, for sport fans. Two big heavyweights getting in the ring, trying to knock each other's head off. Nothing is more exciting.
We're very pleased to have you over here, Bob. It seems to be happening more and more at this stage of your career, and that's because the axis of power in the heavyweight division has swung on this side of the Atlantic. Are you going to keep coming until finally you uncork another American to try to dispense with the next wave, Dubois, Joyce, and the other kids coming through?
Hey, we got a lot of good American young heavyweights, particularly this kid Jared Anderson, who's fighting on December 10th in Madison Square Garden. You know, America is America. We'll be over challenging the Brits for supremacy in the heavyweight division. Who could have believed that an American football team, soccer team, could play against England and really outplay them, but at least get a tie? Because in the United States, you go on a street and you ask 100 people to name 3 U.S. players, and I don't think 5% of them can do that.
But they all know Tyson Fury, last point. They all know Tyson Fury now in America, don't they?
Fury, yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Okay, Bob, it's been a delight as always. Thank you very much. We'll see you again on Saturday night, if not at the weigh-in. And to you, George, once more, thank you very much for all your endeavours to put this show together. We're nearly there, and we're hugely excited to be able to bring this to all our viewers, BT Sport Box Office and ESPN+. Gentlemen, I'll ask you to make way for the principals, if you like. Thank you very much indeed. Bob?
Thank you.
Been a pleasure. Thank you very much. So I'd like to call forward now from South Africa. We want to give him a very warm welcome. Kevin Lorena, it's his big moment in the spotlight. And Daniel Dubois, the WBA heavyweight title holder. Welcome, Kevin. Sit in that one. Thank you very much indeed. There's your mic. Thank you. Daniel, come on. Well done. Thank you. Good to see you. Are you dressing for Saturday night already?
Yeah, I'll be warm, won't I?
You won the title in Miami. It's going to be a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready for it. Whatever happens, I'm good. I'm ready. I want to explode on Saturday.
Well, at your explosive best, you are a very serious heavyweight already, even at this stage of your career. Welcome to you. I guess also, in one sense, it's more of a climactic issue for you to come from midsummer heat in South Africa to this. But I know that you've been here for what? Better part of 2 weeks, right?
1 week.
Okay. How has your prep gone?
Prep's gone very good. Obviously, we've got a big task ahead of us. Daniel Dubois is a formidable opponent. You know, we respect Daniel Dubois. But when the level goes up, so does my level. I've had terrific sparring in Martin Bakoli, who's a well-known heavyweight on the scene. We had to take care of business. I'm no stepping stone. I want to take everything that he's got, and he wants to defend everything that he's got. So I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Daniel, it was a difficult set of circumstances 2 years ago, and you came through it after the Joe Joyce disappointment. It was a difficult set of circumstances, your route to actually getting a shot at a version of the WBA World Heavyweight title, and a difficult opponent for what he was. And you overcame all of those things. And do you, as a consequence, feel you have taken your career to a new level?
Well, sure. This is another step in the right direction. I feel like that the fight in America and all of those other fights, they were just, you know, preparing me for my comeback. This is where it gets serious. You know, I feel like this is my start of my career again, and I'm just ready to go, really.
Is there a little bit of you that is becoming impatient? George and Bob mapped out the plan, such as there can be a plan in boxing, particularly heavyweight boxing. But is there a little bit of you that's becoming impatient to say, well, look, Joe Joyce is still around in the UK. There are other young kids coming through. Tyson Fury is king of the hill. When am I going to get my chance to prove now that I should be king of the hill?
Definitely. I feel like, you know, with Fury and all these are the guys that I want to fight next. These are the faces. These are the guys with the main belts. And you want to be a world champion, you got to go through them. And yeah, and this on Saturday, this is a step in that direction. I want to show that I'm a legit contender.
Kevin, for you, this is brand new, not just a stadium fight like this, on this magnitude, the conditions which I've mentioned. You are a new heavyweight also. You were a very highly rated cruiserweight, but you, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 heavyweight fights to get ready for this. So how do you prepare for a step against a guy like this, and you know the power he brings?
Most definitely. I think the most important thing is having no self-doubt. If you're going to want to be at the top and mix with the heavyweights, which he was talking about, you've got to beat each other to go on to face the pinnacle. So a lot of fighters duck one another. I could have gone an alternative route, so could he. But I said to myself, and I said to my promoter, Rodney Berman, when the fight came, yes. No questions asked. Because if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the guys that they put in front of you and to see if you can go on. So for me, this is all roads lead to here. The moment's big stadium, big press, blocking out the noise. You know, BMT. That's what it's about. I'm from the continent of Africa, from a small country of South Africa. No South African heavyweight has done it since Corrie Sanders in 2003. Like I said, I'm not here to be an opponent. I'm here to make history for my country.
I was going to get to Saunders because we covered that fight and that sensation he caused against Vladimir Klitschko. Before that, there was Franz Botha. They were heavyweights of a different cut to you. You are more of a mover.
Yeah.
Is that how you propose to give Daniel Dubois a problem?
Well, you know, I think it's no secret Daniel Dubois is a big, strong power puncher, as are most heavyweights. Power is all relative, you know. So I think the most important thing is boxing. You know, it's not a strongman competition. It's not a bodybuilding competition. It's not who looks the best. It's boxing. You know, in boxing, you know, a tough man is hurt in the sport. A smart man goes far and has longevity in the sport. And I plan to be smart. I was smart through the cruiserweight career. Now, don't get me wrong, the cruiserweights aren't the heavyweights. The heavyweight, boys, is a big game. The heavyweight game is big. And I don't doubt that. But I've got skill. My trainer, Peter Smith, has honed skill in me. There's not much people know about me. He probably didn't even know about me until this fight was offered to him. But I knew about him. You know what I mean? So for me, it's an opportunity. But I'm here to show the world that I want to be on this big stage and I want to stay.
And is that true, Daniel, that you haven't had easy access to information about Kevin?
Well, you know, to me, Kevin's he's another opponent. I know he wants to rep and all of that, but I know I've got to deal with him. I've got a winning style, so I've done the necessary practice, the necessary film study and all of that. But at the moment, I'm gunning for him. I'm ready to go.
Somebody tried to tell me that this was very much to your liking, a tailor-made opponent style-wise, because you are already thinking about Usyk. Is that true?
Well, yeah, sure. He's a southpaw. I've been getting plenty of practice, so this will just add on to that. And I want to take him out in style. I feel like, you know, just destroy him and just, you know, move on.
You've spoken already, Daniel, at length about your power and your ability to deliver it when it counts. 17 out of 18 by knockout speaks for itself. Explain to the viewers, and maybe some new viewers that we're going to have on the show at the weekend, why you find that so easy.
Well, you know, I'd say I go back to what, you know, my dad did for me when I was a young kid. You know, the training and all of that. We went through it, and now we're here. Now it's just, you know, a blessing to have my dad there that's instilled that power in me. So I'm just ready to unleash it on everyone.
But you find it easy, you've said. You find it easy to knock people out. There's no... It's almost a reflex action rather than a thought-out process.
Yeah, sure. It's everything's... It all is a thought-out process, to be honest, but for me it comes naturally. I've been growing up watching Mike Tyson and these killers in the ring. That, you know, for me, that's my style. I'm a destroyer, so, yeah.
You know the warning. How are you going to deal with it?
He's a destroyer. That's his warning. You can't hit what you can't see. That's you're hitting people who stand in front of you.
And you're going to be right in front of me. Trust me.
Yeah, I'll make you miss. And when you miss, I'm going to make you pay. My man, I'm not afraid of you. I promise you now, I am not afraid of you.
Yeah.
I know you the big boy here. This is your show. If I was afraid of you, I would have gone the other route. I'm fighting you for the same money I fight for in my home country. It's not about rep.
We'll see.
For me, it's not about rep.
We'll
Just
see.
understand that. You said it's about rep. It's not about rep. I want to challenge myself against the best. I showed you the respect, and you underestimating me at your own peril, my mate.
No chance. There's no chance.
You're underestimating me.
I'm 100% ready for you.
You're underestimating
I know what
me.
you are.
You're underestimating me. You're underestimating me. You said it. You said it. You shouldn't talk about killing boxing. People die in boxing.
I'm ready to go for it.
I will beat you.
No, you won't.
I will beat you.
No, you won't.
Take you to school.
I'm ready for you.
I'm ready. I'm here, my man. I jumped on a plane and got you. They offered me the fight. I said yes.
You're a fighter. That's
correct. You're a warrior. The warrior code.
Let's go.
And then, why did you want more money to fight me? Well, that's what your trainer said at the media workout. Oh no, we didn't. We were waiting on a fight.
I don't handle all of that.
Okay, I understand. I don't care about money. I said I want to challenge myself against the best. Warrior code. I am here. We're here. Correct. Saturday night we'll see.
Okay, one last word. The potential immortality. We're going to speak to Dereck Chisora in a moment against Tyson Fury. He will understand that a place in history forever could be gained if he were to upset Tyson Fury's plans. You're in the same position. Is that what is driving you now?
What's driving me right now is fighting Daniel Dubois. There we go. The challengers, both from the continent of Africa. That's history. That man's driving me. What's next? Who cares? I need to beat Daniel Dubois. If I don't beat Daniel Dubois, there's nothing next. Boxing's a cutthroat sport, and I need to focus on the man ahead.
Thank you, Kevin. Last word to you. Defending your title, of course, Daniel.
Yeah. Just tune in. It's going to be all eyes on Saturday. Me and Fury, our fights are going to be, you know, everyone's going to be watching. I'm ready to go. Let's get it on. Let's go.
Thank you both very much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
And good luck to you both on Saturday night. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will immediately turn our attention to our top of the bill. He is the biggest name in world boxing in so many ways at the moment, and certainly one of the biggest names we have ever produced on this side of the Atlantic Ocean. He is the WBC World Heavyweight Champion and lineal champion of the world, defending again the 9th time that he defends the lineal title. No fluff required. Tyson Fury is the people's champion in the United Kingdom. One can argue he is our biggest sporting star at this moment anywhere, and he's going to come into the room now with Dereck Chisora. Welcome, Dereck. Dereck is the man who intends to create a sensation, an historic heavyweight victory it would be. Here is the man, War Chisora, who has tried so often, 12 times defeated on big occasions, but never to be ruled out. You would not be denied. Welcome to you. Let's just... Try that. Okay. There you go.
Now we're going to make it work.
Okay. Tyson is on his way down.
1, 2.
Well done, Dereck. I didn't know you
working.
had a tradesman's qualification as an electrician, but it did come in useful there. Thank you very much indeed.
Good? Yeah.
While we wait for Tyson, let's get started with you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you relishing fight week yet again?
Yes.
Is this going to be one of those press conferences when you're going to try a few tricks, including hanging the presenter out to dry?
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. I didn't know, I have quite a long list of questions, actually, because I knew you'd do this to me today. How did you get this job against Fury? What happened?
By a phone call.
Okay. And had you campaigned to get it? Or did Tyson call you to say, I've got a nice bit of work for you? What happened?
Both.
Was there ever a moment of doubt that you might just be left to watch Fury fight somebody else this time?
No.
Were you already in training with Tyson Fury in mind?
No, I was in my garden.
Very nice garden it is too, apparently.
Swimming.
So it was late summer, early autumn?
Yes.
Okay. And, sorry, you were going to actually say more than 3 words there, Dereck. I interrupted you. Are you taking this fight because you know you've got something that can give Tyson Fury a problem?
Yes.
And what is that?
Me.
How are you going to make that into one of Chisora's greatest nights and an historic victory? How are you going to do that?
Introduce
Okay. We're going to get his verdict in a moment. You even smile when you see him because, you know, on one level there's such respect between the two of you. I know, dare I even say. Well, let's get it on then. Come on.
Champ is here.
You don't need me to introduce the WBC World Heavyweight Champion defending the title again.
Mike is not even on.
1, 2.
Hello?
Take this one, punk.
That's all right. Is this mic on? No. You come in, you think I was like a featherweight champion or something then, not the heavyweight champion. Come on. That was pathetic. So what?
How are you?
Oh, I'm alive and well, kicking, handsome as ever.
You look great.
Fantastic. I'm in great shape, great spirits, ready to rock and roll. Big Dan's on stage with that coat on. Get up, Dan. Big Dell's up here, Big Kevin. What an opportunity to be boxing on this all heavyweight card. Get up, 2 world heavyweight titles. Can't get better than that, I must say. Fantastic promotion.
Where do we start with the relationship between Tyson Fury and Dereck Chisora? You have fought twice, 2 tremendous Fury performances. Why this job now, Tyson?
I'll tell you why. Because that's what we know, that's what we prepared for. And he was available, ready to rock and roll, stepped up to the plate, and bang, here we are. At Tottenham, on Saturday night, going to give it down, throw down for the fans, right before Christmas. It's like a Christmas cracker. Unbelievable.
I will apologise for the language for those who are offended by it.
I just want to say, if any...
The apology's been made. Did you feel you had to get a fight in this year?
Yes, I needed a fight this year.
Here's Sugar Hill coming in behind you.
Regardless
Sugar Hill,
of
everybody. Welcome.
Who it was. Oh, Sugar's here. Big man's here.
Collectively, did you feel you needed to get back in the ring this year?
I love fighting. I always need to fight. I wish I could fight every single month of my life. Derek's the same. We love to fight. So if we could fight 12 times next year, that would be fantastic. Unbelievable. And I know Dereck would definitely sign up for that right now. 12 fights next year. Get up.
Various well-informed sources over the last 3-4 years, Tyson, have told me that there were numerous exchanges between the two of you. Basically, on your amazing recovery story, you tipped him the wink and you said, look, when the time's right, I will get in the ring with you. Obviously, that's going to be a very good payday for you, which you deserve. Is that true? You give us your version of that first. Is that true that this has actually been bubbling away for 3 or 4 years?
One, two. Listen, first of all, I just want to say this here. If I can sit here and try and be more aggressive to Tyson and try and say so many bad words, I cannot, because the man I'm looking at right now, he's giving me an opportunity when Frank Warren didn't want to give me an opportunity, when Bob Arum is saying they didn't want to give me an opportunity, when even my old promoter, Eddie Hearn, didn't want to give me an opportunity. He called me up and he said to me, I want to fight you, I want to give you a big payday. And I said, yes, let's make it happen. Yeah. So many bad things about this man who's actually giving me food on the table for my kids. I cannot. Do you understand? Yeah. You know, all these guys in the game, you know, Frank, all these guys didn't want me to be on this stage. Do you understand? They didn't want me to be on the stage. I can hear them, the reports been writing so many bad things, but I don't care. But come on Saturday, I can guarantee you this. Friendship will be out the door. Me and this big man, we are going to get it on. Do you understand? I'm not going to try and hold back for anything. Do you understand? So come on Saturday, we are going to go I'm going to go to war. Yeah, I'm going to come. There's no two ways about it. As I said before, I want to take what's his and make mine, physically and mentally. This is what I want. Do you understand? Yeah, so it's okay for everybody to say whatever they want to say, but really and truly, I'm in the ring, he's in the ring, it's only the two of us. Do you understand? So for me to sit here and trying to slay the Furies, I cannot. Anything, because there's nothing to say to a man who phones you up and puts food on the table for your kids. Do you understand?
What is it about you, though, Dereck? Because it's not just a group of modern-day scribes who've written you off. You've been written off for a decade, and you keep coming back.
That's the British way, you know, but they don't get it. I was born in Africa, bro, you know, and one thing we know in Africa is we don't give up. You only give up when you die. You know, that's what you could give up. But when you're in life, you can do it. Don't give up. That's an African mentality. You know, Africa is a country that keeps giving and giving and giving. You know, you can take anything you want, but we got more than what you take. So we don't give up. You know, for me to suddenly give up because your newspaper say he should give up and this, I cannot. Because I was born in Africa, do you understand? And I'm so happy that I'm still in the game. You know, I'm so happy I'm still in the game because there's lots of guys in the game who don't produce what I produce. The numbers on the box office, the numbers of the sales. You know, there's only, I think in the game now, it's just me and him. We turned pro at the same time. Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. So and I'm buzzing. I'm happy.
You were 2 years apart as amateur champions, weren't you?
Yes,
only
we
2
were.
years.
Yeah.
Now, admiring this man as we all do, there is a perception at the moment that it's possible that Tyson Fury, the boxer, is actually getting better even now. So how are you going to stop that Tyson Fury from just marching right through you?
Mate, that's between me and my training camp. What you say?
I said, that's fighting talk.
It's fighting talk.
Don't worry, I won't be anywhere near it. It's up to you guys.
Bang! Take that, Swank.
How are you going to do it?
We shall see. How many days you got left now?
2.5.
2.5. You should, so tune in, buy the box office, buy the papers. But I can guarantee you, you are going to love the whole show we're going to put up. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be a stinker. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be that. Yeah.
Champ, I spoke to your father, John, this morning, and I know that when you're not training and working and thinking about the next fight, you guys spend so much time looking at the history of boxing, and so you have a very keen understanding that things can go wrong.
Yes.
And it has happened and happened again. How are you going to prevent it happening to you?
I'm doing what I love to do, getting paid to do what I love. I take my career very, very seriously, as of late anyway, the last few years I have. I'm looking forward to it. Cannot wait to get out there, put a show on and entertain. Like Dereck said, come Saturday night, there's no friendships. There's no friends in business. And this is a business transaction. Then afterwards, we can have a nice little sandwich, a cup of tea, whatever he wants. Not a problem. But while we're in there, we're in fight mode. We're going to put on a good show. And listen, I never took a punch in my life. But in a two-horse race, never underestimate anybody, because anything can go wrong. And as we've seen many, many times in the past, when champions overlook their opponents and think, you know what, I'm thinking about other names and thinking about other big fights, and then you got the opponent training away nice and steadily under no pressure, time and time again. But for me, that will never happen, because I train very hard and I respect every opponent that I've ever faced. I give 110% every time I'm in the gym. I put in 9 weeks of training for this fight. I've never had sex for 6 weeks. I want to come in there like a ramping rabbit. You don't. And I want to just put on a good show. You know, Dereck's going to come and knock me out, and I'm going to come and try and knock him out. So there we are. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. There's nothing more to say. Like I said earlier in the first press conference, like, why did you fight Dereck Chisora? Because you've beaten him twice already. The thing is, like Dereck said, there's a lack of names in the division. There's plenty of depth in the division. There's 1,000 heavyweights in the world. But there's lack of household names. I could have fought somebody, I don't know, 34-0 from, I don't know. But you mentioned Dereck Chisora. They know who Dereck is. For good, bad, they're in different reasons, controversial, whatever. They all know who he is, and, you know, both known, so we're going to put on a good show. And here we are. We sold out 60,000 tickets at Tottenham. So it's very much interest right before Christmas. And let's paint a picture here. Imagine if it snows and we have a white Wembley out there, and everyone gets snowed upon, and it's just the ring that's...
As you get it right, it's not Wembley, it's Tottenham.
Tottenham, then. Whatever.
It wasn't very warm for April at Wembley, but it's going to be quite sharp. I just wonder how you guys are going to prepare for the conditions. There have been some historic fights, many historic stadium fights over the years. but not many in December, if any. So that, it could almost be groundbreaking that you're doing this in December. Have you thought deeply about the conditions?
I'm an all-condition boxer. I think when you're going towards a ring, you don't feel anything. Anyway, you don't feel punches in the face in a boxing ring. You definitely ain't feeling the cold. Adrenaline's going. You're ready for a fight. You're not going to be feeling the cold. You're in there to do a job. Get out there.
What if he makes you wait? Dillian White had to wait a little while at Wembley.
I can't do anything. I have to wait, don't I?
Some would argue you've spent your life waiting for an opportunity like this.
Mate, lifetime's about waiting, you know. Before you get married, you look for the right woman, and you wait, and you find the right woman. You know, if he wants to take 20 minutes to come in the arena, I'm cool with that. I've seen it before. I don't mind. You know, it don't really matter. What matters is this here, for me. I don't really matter about waiting. I'm going to be in front of, he say 60,000. I'm buzzing. I'm ready to put on a show. I'm going to wait. I'll wait. He's a champion. So wait for the champion to come in. If he wants to take his time, he can take his time.
I won't make you wait. I'll be running to the ring like the Ultimate Warrior.
Please run
flat out, sprinting.
Please run to the ring. Do whatever you want to do. Come to the ring. Let's just get it on. That's all. You know, I don't mind. Nothing phases me. Do you understand? I'm cool.
Dereck, thank you very much indeed for being with us. And if you don't mind, the last word should go to the champion. One of the other reasons, Tyson Fury, why the British people absolutely love you, cannot get enough of you, is you take risks in there as well. You know, you got a really bad cut against Wallin. We thought you were going to be stopped by that cut. That was a fight you made quite difficult for yourself. You have been down. You produced one of the greatest miracles of all time, getting up in that moment against Wilder, but you've been down a few times, 6 times, I think. Are you prepared to take risks against this guy? And given the consequences of doing that?
Listen, every time you get in a boxing ring with a heavyweight, it's a risk. You get knocked spark out in 10. You cannot please everybody. No matter, I've won 32 fights in a row. I've been a professional 14 years. And I've learned in that time that you can't make everybody happy. But the most important thing I've ever learned is you don't need to make everybody happy. The only person you need to make happy is your wife. Because everybody else will always have a different opinion, but they don't have to live with you.
Amen to that.
And the one person you have to keep happy is that wife, because if you've got a happy...
Amen to that. As you say now, you know, we had a bet 2 days ago. Me and him we shook on it, so I'm excited about that.
What is the wager?
There's no money involved. We didn't want to do it for money.
It's dinner, isn't it?
No, there's
at
no
your
dinner.
swanky Mayfair restaurant.
No, there's no dinner. It's just between me and him. He knows what it is.
Will you tell us after the fight?
I don't think you'll need to tell.
You will see it.
Okay.
I think for this, we want to give you the first best round in the heavyweight game forever. This will be, from my point, the opening bell to this fight is going to be electric. So by the time you want to sit down, you're not going to be sitting down. You're going to be standing up. And I believe so. If he gets Paris to give him his balls back from his wife's handbag, that'll be fine. So we can get the fight on the first round. First round, we need the first round to be electric, so the place can be buzzing, so people can talk about it. So I'm prepared to do it. I don't know if he is, but from I know Tyson is a man of his word. We shook on it, we spat on it, so we're going to go for it. Brilliant. So I'm buzzing.
I'll have to ask her for them balls. She might not give them me. Might have to do it without the balls, but whatever.
You're the man in control. The stage is yours finally, Tyson. There's our camera. BT Sport Box Office, ESPN Plus. Your
whoa! You forgot. Sugar got on the stage. He wants to say some words.
Sugar,
do you want to say something?
Would you like to add anything?
It needs to be on. It needs to be on camera. It needs to be famous.
Welcome. Welcome, of course.
Give him something to say.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, and I would like to say, and also.
It's not his first rodeo. He won't be fazed by this. You know
that it phases me.
No, that was good. That was a good impression because I am the champ.
Okay, let's go back to.
I'm joking.
I might let one go on you later on.
I'm joking. Oh, bro, I apologize. Take the mic. So
he's got one there. Sugar Hill, over to you.
No, everything's okay. Dereck spoke very well of me, so I'm very appreciative of that.
Okay.
And yeah, just happy to be here with these two guys and everybody else. And just.
It's time out. Face off now.
Another big event. Another big event. Oh, you don't want to?
I'm okay.
Sugar, you would take him down to the floor, wouldn't you, easily?
Easily.
There you go.
Listen, his guys were standing outside the bathroom.
Daniel, deal with this guy quickly. He's an
Where's
American.
the guys at from the
Deal
bathroom?
with this guy, Daniel. Daniel, your brother's talking to you right now. Deal with this guy.
Sugar, let's leave that as a secondary debating point for after the fight, shall we? I'd like to ask the WBC World Heavyweight Champion to close this show. Again, our camera over here, Tyson. BT Sport, Box Office Saturday night, ESPN Plus.
Which camera?
Global audience. Tyson, please tell everybody what we are in for on Saturday.
Saturday night, you're in for a treat. Tune in. There we go.
All right, Tyson Fury, WBC World Heavyweight Champion. Dereck Chisora on this occasion, challenger. Thank you very much indeed. Kevin Lorena, thank you very much indeed to you. And
when is your album, man? When is your
the
single?
WBA Heavyweights Champion. Thank you everybody for joining us here, as close as one can get. Then we'll ask you to politely face off for the benefit of our cameras. Good afternoon.
So to camera first. Hey Bob, get Bob up here. Bob.
Get in your middle, Bob.
Come on, Bob.
Guys, hold on a minute.
All right, Bob.
I do. Every time I stare him out, I look into the soul deep within him.
Cheers, guys. And then Daniel and Kevin.
Like a quadruple face-off.
It'd be good. It's like a slam day. How are you? Okay. Toward the end.
How we doing? All good? Live. All right, here we are. That was a very interesting press conference, I think it's fair to say. BT clearly expecting some kind of drama, as there were no tables on stage, but what we got was something quite different. Dereck, a lot of respect there. Have you ever been going into a fight before and had this sort of fondness and respect for an opponent before?
Do I respect Tyson? No. Do I like him as a man? Yes. Who pays you to put food on your table of your kids? You can't. I cannot. So for me to sit here and try to say bad words, I can't. There's none.
Yeah, I really liked some of the things you said up there, but the main thing that stuck in my head was you talked about the first round, and I believe you. and I believe Tyson as well. I think you're going to stand and have a fight.
Oh yes,
but there's got to be tactics, Dereck. It can't just be gung ho.
Nah, it's gun ho, bro. It's a gun ho. It's going to be a gun ho. It's going to be a gun ho.
Is there a pressure always to entertain when it's you two?
Yes, we're going to entertain. Yeah. If we stand in the middle, then we have to go.
Come on, out the way now.
We have to go. Yeah. There's no need. It's the first round. We have to give the first round an amazing fight. You know, the public are paying money.
Jab the head right off him in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come out like Cassius Clay. 6 jabs in a row. Bang, 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 bang.
Tyson's taking my job here.
Get off. Get off. Dereck, how does it feel to be at Tottenham Stadium fighting for the precious WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world? He's only 1 fight away from becoming the World Heavyweight Champion.
It was great.
There you go.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Jesus Christ.
Amen to that. Amen.
Can I ask you something? I've just asked this to Dereck, and I want to ask you the same question. You said that you're going to meet in the centre of the ring and make the best heavyweight first round there's ever been. I believe that from both guys.
Let's see. Let's see if we can do it.
There's got to be.
This way, we know each other. Let's just go down and throw down.
I'm definitely up for it. Listen, we shook on it, and let's just see what happens. You know,
I believe you.
Listen, it's not about. It's when they say the instructions, whatever. We're not going to walk away. We're going to stand there. We're just going to go. Yeah, I would love to do it because you won't even be able to sit down. You're just going to be, it's going to be buzzing. We got the Usyk team in the house. Alexander Usyk. Did you bring your boy with you? Oh, he's here.
Why are you hiding him? You got him in your pocket? Get him out. Get him out to fight. Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself, Mush.
Right, I've kind of got the lead now on this interview. We need your help, Rob, but...
Come on, what do you need now?
I don't know. I'm not the lead interviewer. I'm kind of the guy. We need this guy to ask questions.
You are now.
I am now.
This is the baptism of fire.
Questions, Rob,
How big of an influence does this presence of Usyk have on this fight? I know obviously you fought him before, but this is a fight you have to concentrate on. But, you know, Alex Krasik is there. Usyk's going to be there.
I'm talking about Tyson Fury and Dereck Chisora. That's what we're on about. WBC World title, Saturday night. Be there or be square. Nothing else matters. You know why? Because we even promised to...
So how's training been for both guys? It wasn't something we talked about. Everybody says, look, you two are two honest guys. Everybody says training's been 100%, best camp I've ever had. How's it been for both of you?
Listen, you get this nonsense every day. I've had the best training camp. Oh, no injuries. I've spotted. Training camp for me has been amazing. I've trained, I hanged out with my kids and my wife. I went to the gym, hanged out with my kids and my wife. It's been amazing. It's been a blast. I've enjoyed every moment of it, bro. You don't understand. I'm fighting only 2 miles away from my house. Yeah. You know, I'm having a blast. I'm just enjoying put it this way. I'm enjoying every step of it, bro. Yeah. Do you understand? I'm enjoying every step of it, you know, from the moment I wake up, when the fight was announced, the moment I spoke to this man while I was in my garden, I was like, you need to call mommy and daddy to ask if you can fight me. You know, I'm enjoying every moment of it. I haven't got time to be sad or anything like that. So I'm just loving it, bro.
I don't think I ever went into a fight completely 100%. Do you think that's ever been the case for you? Who goes into a fight 100%? A training camp, sparring hundreds of rounds? Whoever goes in a full 100%.
But you're never ready. You're never ready. It's all a facade, bro. I'm just buzzing, bro. I am just buzzing, bro. You know, I'm just excited. I'm excited. You know.
Tyson, how is it that so many of your fights there's so much respect before in the press conferences? I think sometimes people think you're going to do some kind of mad mind games, and then it ends up, you know, Sefri, Pianetta, Wallin, Schwartz. There, of course, with Chisora, and I know you two have a long history. How come before there is always so much respect there?
So, yeah, fight game.
And is there always more respect afterwards?
I don't know, you know. Respect, all that sort of stuff.
It depends with who, though.
Depends with who?
Yeah, no, it depends with who. That's the point. That's the key to ask. Depends with who. You know, some people, they build up fights and just go mad and never talk to each other. But you know what? I'm just excited. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm buzzing. You know, it's gonna be a great show. You know, I know this man puts a great show on. I put a great show on. Let's see what happens.
I saw your DJ Majestic putting his notice out online saying he's got something big sorted for your ring walk. How big has it got to be in here? You've got to go pretty huge, haven't you? 60,000 seats.
Yeah, it's going to be big. Enjoy. Watch Saturday night and tune in and find out.
Dereck, you got something massive sorted?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't do big. You know me. I just like to fight, entertain, bro.
Small, Corey, everything.
How is it? Why is it that you always stand up, by the way, for these?
To stand up,
Where'd
need
you get
to.
that from anyway?
Oxfam.
It's a nice suit, bro.
Thank you.
It's a nice.
Goes well with the trainers as
Thank
well.
God I'm wearing glasses for it.
Goes well with the trainers. It's my stylish
That's
dress
the
sense.
style.
Thank you very much.
An athlete running onto stage. We're going to see running out into the ring on Saturday night.
Hopefully, yeah. You know, listen. Tune in on Saturday night.
I'm getting bored now. What's next?
Watch the fight.
What's next?
Derek's about to run away. Dereck, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dereck. All the best.
Oh, he's left me hanging. Oh, they both let me. No.
Don't forget to
Oh,
I'm never going to forget that.
That's embarrassing.
I'm never
mate.
going to forget that.
That's embarrassing.
Carl, I
Thanks
don't
for
really
coming back,
know.
by the way.
Yeah,
Thanks, mate.
I know. Years of training for this job just to get booted out by Tyson Fury, but yeah, sort of what we expected from the press conference, but at the same time, different.
Look, I believe these two guys. They've said they've made this bet that they're going to stand and try and create the best heavyweight first round that there's ever been. There's no reason not to believe them. I think they'll stand and have a fight. I thought Tyson Fury was trying to bluff us when he said he's going to meet Deontay Wilder in the second fight and head on in the middle of the ring. But that's exactly what he done, and he bullied the bully. I think, I genuinely, and not trying to be company man here or anything, I genuinely believe that this fight is going to be really exciting while it lasts.
Interesting little exchange with Alex Krasik there, shouting over the shoulder. I'm not sure if our cameras managed to get it, but a few words exchanged there about Usyk being there on the night, and Krasik saying, "You better win your fight." That is obviously going to be looming over this. It's like undeniable that's going to be the talk of the night, particularly afterwards when Tyson is clearly expected to win. That is going to be where all the focus ends up being.
That's what we want to see. We want to see people think we think we know who the number one heavyweight on the planet is, but we need to really find out. And Usyk has the majority of the belts. Fury has a belt. That's what we want to see. But Dereck Chisora is still in the mix here, and it could spring an upset. And then after that, who knows what happens, but this is the fight that Tyson needs to be focused on right now. And I kind of liked what he said there. He's focused. He said it a little bit in a way that I probably wouldn't have said it, but that's the character that he is, and he is fully focused on Dereck Chisora.
When that press conference started and Dereck Chisora was giving Paul Dempsey the sort of one-word answers, did you think that it was going to end up going the way that it did, with a total sort of almost like comical loving?
It was a bizarre press conference, wasn't it? But like all these press conferences, they're kind of there's no real needle or anything, but you always expect something, and I've enjoyed it. I think they're funny. Like we see Tyson getting up and walking around as if he's like a stand-up comedian or something. It's good. It's entertaining for me anyway. But yeah, I just love these big events. I love being around it. I'm getting kind of excited now for the big night, and it's clear to see that both guys are up for it.
All right then, well, I've got to go home somewhere and recover from being rejected for my spud there from both men at the same time. But, of course, all that's left is to watch Tyson Fury versus Dereck Chisora on Saturday night. Coverage starting at 7 p.m. on BT Sport Box Office. Go to www.bt.com/Sport Box Office for more information on how to buy that. My thanks, as always, go to Carl. But it's the weigh-in tomorrow. And for now, enjoy this BT Sport promo.
The arena awaits and echoes to battles past. After Fury, fresh from knocking out White, shocked the world by announcing his retirement.
What a way to go out!
The contenders jostle for position, all striving to stay in the game. Daniel Dubois, the young lion, continues to rebuild after painful defeat to Joe Joyce, while Joyce, the juggernaut, emphatically knocks Parker out of the running.
What a performance from Joyce!
From the granite chin to the bronze bomber,
I'm the lion, I'm the king of the jungle.
Wilder back in the hunt for his former crown, prepares for a showdown with Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua seeks redemption, but once again Usyk breaks his heart and hopes to tempt Fury back into the game. Fury, restless in retirement, returns to the spotlight, just a step away from Usyk and an undisputed crown. But first, one man stands in his way, Dereck Chisora.
I have to knock this man out.
The underdog, but a warrior with a point to prove.
Take what is his and make mine.
There is all to play for in this swirling arena, where nothing is ever certain and anything is possible.